Hi there, I'm just wanting to do a little quick video. As you can see, it's quite dark. It's because it's still quite early. But I just wanted to do a little video. I wanted to do a little video on, I don't know, I think I'll just free flow actually. I always do. I always seem to do that, you know, because when I start talking, this inspiration that I go through, this constant information, it's just like I just like to let it flow and let it come out naturally. But my intention is towards awakening and how to spot an awakened person. You know, and if you're awakened, you'll know. And also, what I'm going to say will actually help people awaken, because how you see yourself is how you awaken. So this is very important. Now, basically, you know, when you awaken, when I had the spiritual awakening, my mind completely shattered, and I had a, you know, you could say a mental episode for a couple of weeks. If I would have been spotted by what you would call a doctor, they would have locked me up because I was that bad. But basically, the mind broke because everything I believed was shattered, and you become the spiritual awakening is the transition from human separation to oneness, infinite awareness, infinite potential. Now, it's very easy for me. Now, what I've noticed with myself lately is I can notice someone if they're not awake, if they're not there, if they're stuck in what you would call the third dimension. And that is where people, you know, perceive reality as I'm a limited person, I'm a little person. And when you talk to them, and what I've noticed is I'm a lot more quicker these days to notice. Before I used to get into horrible debates and never get anywhere. Now I'm very, very quick, and I become very silent, because I realise now, I know now, that you can't help these people, because they will always, they're, you know, whatever, you know, we are what we think about. Because you're what you think about, what you believe, then that puts a lock onto your psyche. Once you get the psyche trained, there's no changing that, because that's a part of you that decides everything. So these people will identify themselves as limitation, and I don't think they even like the word infinity, or if they even know what it means. So when I'm talking about infinity and infinite awareness and what reality is, they just don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know, and what they're doing is they're responding very quickly, which means they're listening or watching my words to respond, but they're not looking for understanding. If they were looking for understanding, they wouldn't just respond. You would wait. Because sometimes the message can come later on. It can come sometimes years later. I remember watching a concert with John Lennon, and he said that Yoko Ono said something to him a few years before, and it took him a couple of years to get the message. That's what I'm saying. So listen for understanding means you don't respond. You don't respond at all. But someone who's asleep will just respond all the time, because they want to be right, you see. For them, it's all about the ego. It's all about, oh, I've got to be right in this situation. They're not working within their heart space and wanting to, and seeing everything as they are, and everything is your spiritual teachers and reflections. That's why I always say that I know nothing, because everything and everyone is truthfully, is honestly, I found this out to be true, is your angels, your guides, your healers, your spiritual teachers, your reflections. And they're there to reflect back at you deep, deep issues within you. And that's what everything is. And it's people are basically acting out as this mirror, bringing out your faults. So when you start looking from this angle of, this is my reflection, this is my traits, you know, that this person has taken out, you start to heal and move on and move up the channels very, very quickly. That's what happens when you look from this viewpoint. When you look from the viewpoint is, when you look from the angle of, this is separation, I'm limited, this is not my reflection, then you're holding your ascension process back, you see. Everything is just angles that you're looking from. That's what everything is, just angles. It's all a mirror, but it's all dependent on what angle you look from. And I'm happy to share with you what angle to look from to ascend the quickest way possible, because I've obviously had this experience. But yeah, you know, I just felt I wanted to share that with you. You know, everything is a reflection, and I've, you know, sat down a lot with this path, and forgetting the awakening. You know, this information obviously came from this awakening, but I've sat with all the philosophies over and over again, and I went over them. And I've came to realise that they're all logical, very logical. And that's how I got over depression. Because my mind realised, hey, this is quite logical, these philosophies. It's logical to understand that you can only perceive things based on how you feel. You can only do that. You can only see things and feel and perceive reality based on how you feel inside. So that's it, you know, and that's why when I look at everything, I do it all the time. I look at someone and what I see is infinite potential. When I was coming from a more negative angle, when I felt negative within me, I would see someone and see them exactly how I see myself. And this is just sit and think about it logically. You know, there's actually no form whatsoever. You know, going back to this. Asleep people that identify with limitation, that is just an experience, but what you are is an infinite potential, an infinite possibility. What we are, as I always say, is a perceptual state of awareness. And what that means is it's almost like someone stuck a headset on, a virtual reality headset, and you're experiencing something, but it's a virtual reality, but an infinite thing. And who's putting the headset on is you. Because the real self, the real you, is this infinite nothingness, this infinite potential. So it's an endless possibility, and that's the thing. That's the real self, and that's the part, the thing, that is creating your reality. That is the self that is putting this headset on of whatever you wish to experience, whatever you are choosing to manifest. Because a life in itself, when you manifest your own life, you're a focus within this infinite thing. You're a focus within that thing, and that's what a life is. Because when you are back to this infinity, you've got infinite power. So when you wish to manifest a life, it just like that, very quickly, instantaneously, and that brings you back to the present moment. Everything is now. This infinity that I'm talking about exists in the now. Time is another part of this perceptual illusion, this perceptual state of awareness. And that's what it means. Perceptual state of awareness means it's like a headset virtual reality. But the virtual realities are infinite potential, so you can have time. Another reality, you might not have clocks, they might not exist. Right? But there's endless possibilities, is infinite. And that's what it means. And like I say again, you know, get it out there, the thing that's putting the headset on is the real self, which is not these bodies. The real self is the infinite everything. And it's this infinite everything that is putting this virtual reality game thing on. Because people have forgotten that they are in this simulation, but they are also the infinite energy system to manifest such realities or whatever. That's basically it. And this is part of the information that, you know, I get with the spiritual awakening all the time, as well as other things. And like you notice on my videos, I like to flow. That is when I'm at my best. Because what I'm doing is I'm just letting all this inspiration come out. A bit like when you write a song. When you write a song or poetry or something, it's inspiration that you're building up inside of you. Because everything is inside of you. Out there, again, is limitation. It's a projection. But the infinite potential is all within here, within your heart space. And that's what I say to people all the time. You know, they tell me that I'm doing so well on my journey. All different people. people that have got successful businesses with spirituality, they really like my path, and I say to them, all I'm doing is going within my heart space. That's it. It's super easy. It's super easy. But anyway, I think I'll just end it there. If you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.